Hi, everyone. Welcome to this intuitive channeling and general reading. I felt called to do an intuitive channeling today on the void as I'm feeling its presence looming over me personally. So I just like to speak on it in case it may be looming over others. I can't unfeel the sense of there being a kind of split in the collective, in the global Earth collective at large, so that like whoever's in the dark can kind of reach for inspiration from people who are in the light, look to people who are currently in the light, and whoever is in the light, must be aware that more of the eyes in darkness are going to be naturally attracted towards them because they are in their light. This can be changed according to you and according to the decision you make in this very moment. But I believe when the void comes, this is also according to what must be served, what must be served through your time and your presence with the darkness and the shadow in particular. Obviously, everyone wants to go to the light. Nobody wants to be in the shadow. So shadow work, and sometimes the task of doing shadow work, is, like I like to say, sometimes the task of the divine. Like it's God kind of placing you down there beneath in the underworld to do your time. You have some things you need to learn there. There's some ways that the darkness can change you. There are some things it needs to teach you right now, and you just need to do your time in it, go through it, be a student of it, and wait your process out, constantly reminding yourself that it's temporary. This one, however, feels like, along with reminding yourself that it's temporary, it could also be useful in like in remembering, and this feels very specific and very personal. So if this doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work. But I am aware of a sense of growth that I think we can all say we've been through, and the ways in which these times we're in have changed us, what we're seeing, what we're processing internally. It has been a light for a lot of people, but I think that the overarching lesson for all of us in every way was to be able to face the darkness and to know what to do with it according to what is true to us, releasing everything that was taught to us before about the darkness. If you resonate with my work, then chances are you agree with the sentiment that the darkness can be medicine, and that from a greater, more bigger picture-fied lens, the darkness is a necessary part of this experience and of this like vibrating being that we are in, that we are part of, the vibrating being of God. It's a necessary ingredient. Without the darkness, it's like the with the darkness is such an integral piece of the whole thing that without the darkness, the whole thing disintegrates into something different. The whole thing is the whole thing because of the presence of darkness. So it's very, very necessary. It's very important to go through shitty times. It's fucked, but it's very important to have the ingredient of trauma and of at least malleability, a kind of flow, because I believe trauma can also do that. It hits you and makes you like flowy, So yeah, either way, it's all necessary. It's all part of the journey. It's all kind of predestined in a way. That's also been very helpful, always helpful for me in facing the void, is knowing and remembering that My story is predestined, that while I'm present in my choices right now and it's all up to me, it's also all technically already been written. And not much is asked of me. I really, at most, as this bag of flesh that I am, just need to keep breathing. Again, all void stuff. If you understand, then you understand. When you are like deep, deep within it, it can really feel like you're in this constant loop of very, very big, hollow grief that is very difficult to move or to like try to force away or whatever. You really have to humble yourself to the pain and the discomfort. I picked up the cards ready to shuffle, but I just want to make sure that I'm done with everything I have to say. I also want to note that with this kind of void I actually don't know if I mentioned this in particular before, that if you take note of everything voidy, right? Because I did a reading earlier and it turned out the mic was off. I had one of those moments and I'd said a lot of meaty stuff there that I guess I registered in my mind as already done. So I just put it away. But now I'm realizing I have to say it again. I explain myself a lot. Hopefully you let that go, because that's also a big, big theme. No more explaining yourself. Just do it. With the revisiting of the void, with every time that it comes, I described the void as a big baggage of all of our shit. And when it comes, it just throws shit at us. And whatever sticks to our skin sticks. Sometimes it lands beside us and we either experience these karmic loops, shadows, cycles, triggers, or we see it in other people and we learn. Either way, we're learning, we're growing. This growth I'm feeling will be really useful. It'll be really useful for us to remember and keep taking note of how far we've come. Specifically, if you can remember, so what I believe happens in these voids and what I'm feeling into might be happening for a lot of people concurrently, in cycles. Like while it happens to a group of people, another group of people won't be experiencing it. Then it happens to those group of people and that other group of people won't be experiencing it. You know, everybody has their turns with the shadow shit. So as it happens, and as you go through your cycle and your turn of the process, the way that it plays out in its story, for me, it's easier to integrate it when I notice the pattern. There's always a pattern with these things, in my honest opinion, and the pattern is very intentional. That's God's kindness, you know? Otherwise, we'd just be flaying around and getting lucky with our karmic stories. We get the full bulk of understanding. We get the full bulk of code, you know? We just need to fill in the gaps. But anyway, with these little karmic triggers and experiences, if you can take note of how you feel as it happens and how you felt when it last happened, I think that just noting that difference will make you feel a lot better about your growth and evolution, and you really will be able to notice how far you've come in terms of managing yourself, your emotional regulation, the nervous system work that I know we've all been putting in, which, by the way, is super, super important. The nervous system and the lymphatic system feel intensely important, and I think is also the root of why we need to stay healthy. It feels like that part of all of us is going to need a little bit of a boost. I'm not sure why, but it feels very integral in our human evolution and this whole business of embodying Christ consciousness and all that. It feels like something about our lymphatic and nervous systems are the central part of making sure that happens right down to the way we process our emotions. And we know it's true with how when you can take care of your nervous system, if you do the practical work of taking care of your lymphatic system, rather, your mood is stable. Yeah. That's by design, and I think definitely points to the fact that, or points to the work that we're doing. So, yeah, if you take note of that, you keep looking at how much better you get at regulating yourself during very triggering moments. And also, another pattern that I think shows up in response, because it's not just like bad patterns or patterns that show up through bad repetitive cycles, it also shows up in the way that the patterns respond to you. So for example, if a common trigger is some narcissistic person who keeps having lash outs at you every cycle, you'll notice as you get better and improve that you're calmer through your reactions to this person's narcissistic whatevers. And then also, as you get calmer, this person seems to magically stop being so annoying. Because in narcissistic tassels, you know, when you respond, that person gets riled up and you guys keep doing this. As you get better, as you heal, you do the healing, you practice your presence, and it's so simple, the work that you've been doing this entire time. And shout out to you because you have been doing work. I trust that I'm reading for people who've been working their asses off, trying to be fucking regulated and okay, you know, just okay, just fine. You've hung up the desire to be happy and joyful. It's okay to just be fine, you know? Done a lot of work in being fine, and in your work through that, it's as if this person or the situation, but this person for the sake of the example, understood, knows that, maybe he was in there, he had a discussion with God in his own or their own way, and they respond to you in a very different way, as if they've been changing with you, you know? But then also in terms of the narcissistic pattern, beware of that stage of your healing, because that's the part where you think, oh, maybe then they finally changed. And then the cycle repeats itself. If you relate, you relate. Otherwise, lots of work being done, lots of opportunity, most importantly, to realize how much work you've been doing internally. This is all internal. The void, I believe, is a very internal exploration, very personal. The hermit, the fool, you and you know. Hopefully as well, you no longer feel any kind of victimhood regarding that link, the fact that it's just you and no one can understand or know about your intricacies but you. Because that also feels like a challenge that comes with the void, especially to those who yearn. There's always that specific, very particular struggle. And it's very deep and it's very sensitive. I know that we all know the idea that we're alone and when we die in the grave, it's just going to be us. But I believe that there are a group of people who feel that extra heavy, and they don't understand how other people are able to go about their day as if that's not the worst thing about life ever. If you relate, then yeah, tend to that part, because that's supposed to be a celebration and an honor and something really, really exciting. And there is a way to make that exciting. Even if you may not see it, how exciting it is that it's you and it's only you. Well, you and God, but like you know, you have all of the sovereignty and power to be able to do whatever you want to do. Exciting. You can be and do anything. You can be weird, which, by the way, isn't a bad word, in case you didn't know. Weird, if you go into the ancient definition of it, and I think actually, I'm pretty sure we're all aware of this by now, but just in case you didn't know, weird defines someone who is in control of their own destiny. So yeah, shout out to being weird. But you can be anything. You can be cringe is what I was trying to say. You could be really strange. You could be difficult to understand. As long as you're not harming anyone or fucking with other people's destiny, yeah, woohoo, you deserve it, you know? I'm going to start shuffling now. See what the cards have to say. We get into it immediately. Wow. So we have Judgment and the Queen of Discs in reverse. Let me read into that, see what the Queen of Discs has to say. So she is grasping, over-ambitious, ruthless in getting her way. Can also be egotistical, brittle, insecure, and narrow-minded. Her life bound up in material possessions. Can form a clique of codependent, dysfunctional people around her. I'm going to sit with that and then pull a third card to get further understanding. Meaning the frequency of a really problematic mother. Four of Discs in reverse. Let's see what that is about before I continue on. I mean, Four of Cups. I think I said Four of Discs. Sorry, Four of Cups in reverse. Even if I said the Four of Cups, then whatever. So this card speaks of inward resentment or anger resulting in self-destructive behavior, self-sabotage, inability to see the positive in your life, concentrating instead on all the negatives. Okay. This very specifically is the frequency of a mother or somebody who's been dealing with a long-running cycle of a maternal wound, of the wound of nurture, lacking thereof, what I'd mentioned just now, of specifically the yearner who struggles with the idea of the fact that they are alone and sovereign in their decision-making. I'm also getting the frequency of someone who's very hard on themselves, who's going through a really hard time right now because they are struggling to process something about their material world that they're very dissatisfied by. So these two is giving somebody who feels like, who's dissatisfied with where they are at materially and they want to work more, or they're not satisfied with their, like the things they see. I don't know how else to describe it. Somebody who's not satisfied with the material standards of their life. They want to live a more luxurious life and they are deeply dissatisfied by where they're at, by how far they are from living that lifestyle. And they are maybe projecting or just being mean to people around them. Maybe this may be you and you're being mean to yourself because of the standard of your life. The standards of your life are not meeting you where you expect them to be. I'm getting intense expectations of the self and the need to use all of this as an awakening opportunity. I don't know how though. You have the Four of Swords beneath the deck. Take the time to slow down. I may be reading for somebody who okay, very specific frequency. Somebody who really enjoys going out, who lived a life where they were going out and is now experiencing some kind of financial squeezing where they can't go out as much. And that shift in lifestyle is really affecting them more than they thought it would. Hold yourself for that, love. I totally understand that frequency. And I understand how it can feel small in you, but it's a lifestyle change. You know what I mean? Okay, no, it can feel big in you, but small to other people. Like, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. But, a change, any change is a big deal generally. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, please take it easy. Virgo, please take it easy. Please take it easy on yourself right now. Libra as well, if I'm reading for you, I'm getting really intense expectations on aesthetics and the way things need to look and the way that you need to always be put together, whatever, and you're really not feeling that put together. Accept that you're not put together. Accept that that's where you're at right now. This is giving the presence of the void for an earth sign or for somebody who's very earth-based material. The material life matters to you. And if it does, then yeah, it does. That's you. I feel like shuffling for one more card as like an arrow pointer, maybe where to next, or some practical clarity. I don't know. 3 of Swords in reverse. I love that. And then we have the star beneath the deck. This is wonderful. A call just to be yourself. Okay, so now I'm receiving somebody who, you're in a lifestyle state that you're not used to. Or actually, this could also be somebody who just isn't doing well internally, and they're like falling short on taking care of themselves, they're falling behind on their self-care routines, maybe even falling behind on work. Something's falling behind. Something feels laggy, lazy, and maybe you are on the brink of being like hard on yourself about it. Please forgive yourself for that. There's like a heart and mind alignment that you're going through right now that unfortunately has to spill over to other parts of your life to get your attention. And now that you're aware of it, surely after watching this reading, and if it's not you, then maybe someone in your life. And if it's neither of those things, then this reading doesn't resonate and you shouldn't be watching. Then at least you know. For whoever knows, at least you know. It says allowing the flow of emotion to take over, or the issues to fall away. Seeing the positive side of a difficult problem. Again, letting the sun shine through. So this is very like obvious messaging. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for that messaging. Oh, perfect. Seeing the positive side of a difficult problem and letting the light shine through. 2 major arcana cards, both speaking of a kind of like, of an ethereal source of light, with the star being its own kind of like ball of fire, inner fire. And then I see the Hermit and the Moon. The Moon keeps coming up in my readings, and I wish I knew more. I wish I did more research on this conjunction that's coming up before coming on here. But yeah, the Moon feels so important. Let me actually just look at the details of this. Let's see when the next new moon is. Because it feels really, really, really important. It keeps coming up, even in personal readings that I do. Oh, crazy. Okay, so the 18th of January is a very special date. I'm doing this 12 January 2026. Timeless intention for all the messages. But as I'm doing this is one of those weekly tune-ins. The 18th of January is a new moon, and there is some kind of crazy conjunction, and I have a video here that I'm going to link right now to the description of this live that I'm doing, that I recommend everybody tune into who's interested in the astronomical weather. Come that day, the presence of the void may be extra felt. All of this is to say, please, this almost always, especially with the levels that we are moving into in life, this almost always will have to do with your internal world and nothing to do with your external. So nothing externally might happen. Internally is where all of the juice is going to happen inside each and every individual. Then it starts a domino effect, and the following times after that day starts to look a little bit hectic, where people start to act out a little. All right, I'm just going to link the video. His name is Stefan Burns. And that is the video that he speaks of on the 18th of Jan. A conjunction is happening. Probably something, I'm feeling into a possible culmination of these emotions. So give yourself time. That's a week. And yeah, this is a weekly. So this is what we're doing for the week. This is what we're working on. If by chance you feel any internal processes of resentment towards even yourself, maybe towards your past, towards your situation, towards your current situation, towards some past version of you that you may feel didn't work hard enough to be able to get you here. Maybe you're processing, I'm feeling into someone processing some kind of regret for not doing something in the past so that they could be in a different place now. please go easy on yourself. It's such a waste of very valuable cellular energy to even for a second live in regret or resentment to any version of yourself that didn't know better. Again, very helpful for me to remember, whoa, when you have the hangman and you have death, that's crazy. That's so many, this is this is basically all the major arcana cards. This is the whole thing. This is a different person. Oh my gosh, you're going to be so different by next month. This is insane. This is kind of scary. This is scorpionic, plutonic. Very crazy transformation. I've even lost what I was saying. And then you have the 2 of swords and the 8 of swords beneath. Amen. If you still suffer with thoughts of like self-doubt or anything like that, self-deprecation, kill that beast now. Deal with it now. If you spend even a second, okay, I'm catching it. If you spend even a second thinking poorly of yourself or your life, dude, I don't even know. Because it doesn't belong at all. This is wild. I don't remember when last I did a reading where this many major arcana cards fell out and they were all so intense like this. The next week is also probably next month. Yeah, a week to a month. This is giving quick. It's giving very quick changes. Yeah, it's giving so overwhelmed that you can't name the feeling sometimes, and it's giving, oh my gosh, it's giving some kind of, maybe some waves of anxiety attacks or panic attacks of some kind, just feeling so overwhelmed with emotional waves that you really don't know what to do with, truly feeling like you're dying inside on some level, really, really depressed one second, and then totally ecstatically euphoric in the next second. Yeah, this is a little bit manic, actually. A little bit manic, a little bit out of control, this energy, especially in the wrong hands or inside a body that isn't fully integrated, that doesn't understand that this is an energetic process you're going through. Please be aware if you feel any intense waves of emotions in the coming times that you watch this reading. Know that you're going through an energetic purging. You're going through a process. Follow your body's signals. When you feel like sleeping, go to sleep. When you feel like eating, eat. When you don't feel like eating, don't eat. Try not to force anything. The universe is kind of already forcing you through something. So you really have to do what you can to let it happen. Work so hard to keep focused on the light. Work so hard. It's time to let it go. Free yourself of the shackles. There's this tweet that I love that's by RuPaul from, I think, 2013-ish. It was trending on X just now. It said, I'm going to paraphrase pretty poorly now, but it spoke of how awful it is when someone is so dedicated to hanging themselves, to crucifying themselves. And yeah, this is giving somebody who crucifies and who is hard on themselves because they think that, not even they think, they have a lived experience of how that was useful to them at a stage. And now it really isn't. Like, you're about to realize how much of your internal patterns were not yours and were very, very dangerous to your well-being, not just your mind and headspace, but to your physical well-being. How mean thoughts, mean things that you say to yourself and think to yourself. Virgos, y'all are so mean to yourself. It's time to be free. It's time to be free. This is so amazing. These 2 cards together as well is so amazing. I'm getting somebody like who gains extreme popularity off of just being themselves, just vibing out and being yourself. And obviously in today's day and age, popularity turns into money. So, but yeah, with the presence of these, sorry, please stop thinking about money, because that's part of the issue. Part of the issue is you thinking about money. Release money. This is an extremely energetic, spiritual. Money doesn't matter. Material doesn't matter. 3D doesn't matter. It's all about your spirit time. That's what this is about. If I were to read the interpretations of all three of these cards, they would definitely all point towards following your intuition, kind of sitting right now as you are under this kind of divine light. You are bathing in it. Even if you are unaware of it, you may not fully feel it right now. You're sitting under a divine torch and you are getting lit up. I'm getting someone really following their own path here, doing something really radical, really different. You're shocking a lot of you. You're shocking so many people that you may think that you should be shocking yourself, but you're not feeling shocked. This is something I'm getting a decision, someone making a decision or someone being aware that is so locked in, that makes you feel so sure. You're so sure of yourself. Nothing can sway you, and you're shocked by how sure of yourself you are. Yeah. Because this is pretty cool. The opposite energy of the presence of these cards, how this person is very codependent, and these two cards together speak of a lack of codependency due to a super extra intense divine connection with your own soul and your own inner wisdom and the presence of peace within you all the time, you know? This is such a good omen of a reading that could translate externally as a kind of, whoa, what the fuck is happening, or a scary thing, but it's not scary. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Please consider, always keep in mind that you have the power to change your perspective. Always keep that in mind during this time. The power is all in your hands. Nothing is as bad as it seems, especially for you. It seems everything is actually amazing. It's just that you maybe have really crazy expectations of what amazing looks like. You are a very, 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 very blessed person. You have a very, very, very long, thick, useful story and purpose in life. You are incredibly important for your role. Whatever the reason is and the vibe is that you came with is so important for the world. It's so much bigger than the material things. It's so much bigger than like whatever negative you're facing, whatever heartbreak, anything, whatever you've been through. I hope none of it makes you feel unlucky. You are, in fact, the luckiest. You're one of the luckiest people alive. Because this is crazy. This is crazy. Like I said, I really don't remember when last I did. I don't even know if I've ever done a reading with the presence of the Star, Judgment, the Hangman, Death. And in total, there's 7 cards. I haven't really shuffled that much. Sure, this can come out, the probability of this coming out if I'm pulling a lot of cards, sure. But this is a cute little cupped reading. And majority of it is major arcana, extremely positive, extremely transformative, extremely powerful. You are so powerful. It's like, what? I hope you can appreciate that, understand that moving forward, and never doubt yourself, ever. Throw away the doubt. Never doubt anything, ever, again. Never doubt anything ever again from the moment you watch this reading, because you are so lucky and every moment of your life is incredible, and you are about to be like this is crazy. I'm getting the image, you know how in cartoons when the superhero of the story powers up and they go through their transformation and they change clothes and they get their weapons, and this is what this is giving. and bearing in mind that those moments in the shows and stuff always happens when there's when there's an emergency, you know, when there's something to do, there's some beast to defeat, whatever. When there's a low point, there's a crisis. However, this is not giving crisis. There's no tower. This is more just giving a complete ego ripping away. This is also giving someone at a low point in their life being throttled. A gift just kind of whooshes into your face and it shocks you. It really shocks you. I'll actually link, this frequency is something that Destiny, Queen Kaptara, recently just did a reading on. Same kind of vibe. Something absolutely incredible happens to you that completely rewires. It's so incredible that it totally rewires the way that you see the world, the way that you see God, the way that you see yourself, the way that you follow your intuition. It changes the way you are as a person. It heals you, totally heals you. Positive, wonderful, wonderful thing. And I know I'm always reading for this kind of frequency that there's a gift coming in. So I may also be reading for somebody who's kind of sick of hearing that shit. So I hear you. I hear you. And I love to say this every time this good vibes come. So I'm sure that the good vibes in a reading, every time they come, I love to say this. So I'm sure that you will know if you watch my stuff, you'll know what I'm about to say. But whether or not you think that it's coming, at whatever point you are at in terms of how patient you feel about what's coming, it's coming anyway, and it's going to come exactly as and when. And yeah, you are always tasked to just lay back, relax, observe, have fun. That's all you ever had to do, ever. So this whole extra non-believing thing, that's up to you. You can also you're entitled to anything you want to do because that's the gift of being alive. So knowing that, what are you going to do? I hope that at the end of the day, whatever it is that you do, you receive, because there's a lot to receive, a lot of gifts from this, and there's a lot of growing to do. There's a lot of growing to do. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. I will see you in the next reading.